if the rule in her office is no gift policy. Therefore, even the Vice President would think that whenever a gift is given, that's bribery. That is subtle bribery. Ms. Catalan.
Maybe.
Not maybe. Sabi mo sa akin, no gift policy. So therefore, if the Vice President said that there is no gift policy, therefore she is trying to avoid any kind of a bribery or a corruption in his part. Attorney Powa, can you please, do you believe that?
Well, yes, I do believe that, Your Honor, because even as OSEC, when I was in OSEC, no gifts talaga kami from anyone. No gifts. No gift policy was in place.
So, nakita niyo yung answer ng dating spokesperson ni Vice President, am I right? That's the reason why I'm asking you if you are pressured. Siguro kinakailangan, sabihin mo na rito sa amin, you were pressured because of the allowances given to you. Oo. Hindi nyo na kinakailangan pagtakpan pa yung nagbigay sa iyo eh. Ikaw, Miss Catalan, ikaw po ang accountable dito, ikaw ang kawawa dito. You do not even need to protect those that gave to you the envelopes. Because the fact is this, when the rule in the Vice President's office is no gift policy, she would think that to be corruption. Oh, therefore, yung pagbigay ng allowance sa iyo is actually subtle bribery. Hindi po ba?
But according kasi kay Attorney Shine during that time, it came from the secretary and who was really just maybe, he was just grateful dun sa performance namin. So I considered it not really a form of bribery, or I was not pressured to sign the liquidation voucher, but I was requested to sign it, sir.
I'm not going to, in any way try to convince you otherwise, Ms. Catalan. What I'm just trying to say is, when the rule of the Vice President is no gift policy. In fact, hindi nga siya tumatanggap ng gift sa amin eh, kahit nabigyan namin siya eh. Hindi siya tumatanggap eh. Ngayon, kung siya mismo hindi tumatanggap, ba siya nagbibigay sa inyo? As a form of gratitude.
Ganun pa rin yun.
Ma'am, meron po akong isang tanong. Nakakatanggap po ba kayo ng envelope kay ASEC Paharta? Yung totoo po, ma'am. Remember, you are under oath. Aside from your allowance, from your regular budget, nakakatanggap po ba kayo ng envelope just like Yusek Mercado and Director Osias from ASEC Paharda?
Yes, sir.
Magkakano?
Minimal amount lang po.
Which is, how much po?
It's not even,
Magkano po?
it's 25,000.
25,000. How many times po? If you could recall.
9?
Ilan?
9 times.
9 times. From what month up to what month? Let me guess. From February to September?
I think so, sir.
So, nung September po, tumigil na.
Yes, Your Honor.
Just like Yusek Mercado. Tama po ba?
Yes, Your Honor.
So, thank you po.
Mr. Chairman, lastly, I'd just like to manifest, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, can I Last
Yes.
na lang po. Ma'am, actually, ma'am, talagang naawa din ako sa inyo. Kasi, tingnan mo, accountable ka dito. Eh, sabi mo kanina, ni-request ka. Pero, ang labas pa rin, ganun eh. You were requested, but, tapos, medyo kalakaran na may lagayan sa loob. Kaya nga ako, ma'am, I want to just express my sympathy to you. Naawa talaga kami sa inyo. Napipilitan kayong permahan yung isang bagay na hindi tama. Ngayon kung may kaso, pag lumabas yung Inday, yung finality nun, tatamaan kayo dyan. Ano process? Ako, Mr. Chairman, sabi ko nga, naawa lang ako dito sa mga officials ng DepEd. Pag ganito yung kalakaran. Ngayon, 2 na. Baka sunod, hindi lang 2. Di ba? Kaya, Mr. Chairman, at least ngayon, umamin na si ma'am, tama na ako. Okay na ako, Chairman. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, Senior Deputy Speaker, Dong Gonzales, you're recognized.
Ma'am, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to address my question to Ms. Catalan, ma'am, the accountant. Ma'am, Mr. Chairman, sigurado dumaan sa iyo itong cheque na to, di ba? You're the accountant. Yung 37.5 million. Tama ho ba?
Your Honor, hindi po dumaan sa akin yung cheque kasi ang napadala po sa amin ay voucher.
Tama.
It would-
Meaning to say, the voucher is the basis sa preparasyon ng cheque. Di ho ba? No?
Yes, Your
And
Honor.
definitely, there is a date put in the voucher and they will follow that date in preparing the check. So the check was signed by, of course, Yusek Sibilia and Yusek Mercado. Ang napansin ko lang po dito, in your recollection, 2023 yung isang check, that was February 20, 2023. That's number 1 check for the 37.5. Number 2 check, I thought this is quarterly. Ang date po ng check is April 19, 2023. It falls down to 1 quarter. Isang quarter lang po yung 2 check na issue. Ang pangatlong na check na issue po ng November 23, 2023. Hindi po, na-issue po pala yung pangatlong cheque is July 11, 2023. In your recollection, tama ho ba itong cheque and based on your obligation, on your voucher during the processes of the vouchers into check?
Parang tama po, Your Honor.
Tama. So, tama ho ba yung tanong ko na per quarter at 2 cheque po yung ginawa niyong 37.5 in 1 quarter? Tama ho ba?
No, Your Honor. Per quarter po siya.
Per quarter is February.
February for the first quarter, and then yung April for the second quarter, and then yung July for the third quarter.
So, tama ho ba?
Po.
Okay. So, that is equivalent to 37.5 times 3. That is equivalent to 112.5 million. Number 2 question po. Itong 125 million under Gina Acosta, ang date po ng check na is July 13, 2023. Halos nagkasabay lang po yung July 11 ng DepEd at saka yung July 13 ng OVP. Ang OVP is 125 million and the DepEd is 37.5 million. Kaya ang tinatanong ko po, wala na po yung land bank, umalis na? Kanina. Umalis na po yung land bank? So, meaning to say, ang July 11 at saka yung July 13, ang na-withdraw po is 37.5 million at saka yung 125 million. Tama ho ba sa, hindi po kayo OVP pala, DepEd kayo. May OVP ba dito? OVP? Sa management, po. Wala. Kasi kung tignan mo itong 2 cheque, isang mukha lang po ito 2 days lang po ang diferensya. July 11 and July 20, 2023, of the amount of 37.5 and 125 million. Kaya tinatanong ko po sana yung land bank, kaso wala na. Next hearing ko na lang po, Mr. Chairman, tanungin. Kasi tatanungin ko siya kung paano niya na-withdraw itong tatlong cheque at saka itong 125 million. So, Your Honor, Mr. Chairman, yun lang po. Maraming salamat.
Thank
Chairman.
you. Thank you, SDS.
Chairman. Interject
Yes,
lang.
Congressman Lara, please.
Yes, yung tanong chairman ni SDS Dong para sa OVP. I think nandito si Attorney Puka, baka pwede niyang sagutin yung tanong ni DS Dong.
Apo. Mr. Chair?
Yes,
if I may
nandito
be-
ang OVP, former din naman.
Mr. Chair, if I may be recognized. Wala pa po kasi ako sa OVP nung 2023. I was with DepEd at that time, sir. So, I really wouldn't know kung ano yung nangyari dyan.
Ano po kasi dating nakita ko lang po itong cheque
Opo.
na yung date kasi halos magkapareho po yung date.
Yeah, opo.
So, July 11, 2023, yung last check, the 37.5, at saka July 13, 2023, yung 125 million.
Opo.
So, meaning to say,
Malapit. Opo.
summation of that two equivalents to sum.
Yes, sir.
Yun po yung sinasabi
But,
ko, Mr. Chairman.
yun po. Unfortunately, sir, I got out of DepEd nung nag-resign si VP, which was already July 2024. I believe, sir.
Andito pala yung land bank.
SDS,
Ma'am, sorry na.
Diyan na po yung land bank, SDS.
Sorry ma'am, nakabalik kayo, di ba? Magtatanong ko lang sana kung itong Edward Paharda, kasi po ako nagtanong to last hearing, di ba yung cheque, papayingkas, ikaw yung branch manager, di ba? Pag ipapayingkas po yung cheque, nakaprepare yung pera, bigay mo sa counter. Pag binigay mo yung pera sa counter, may papipirma po kayo sa kanya, di ba? Yung receive, the amount of this, and sa likod ng cheque, pipirma pa po si Mr. Paharda. Tama ho ba?
Yes, sir. The client will sign as acknowledgement na
And at the back of the
ni-receive
check,
niya yung cheque. The cash.
the cash. So, pwede nyo kaming bigyan nung receiving copy, nung tatlong receiving copy ng from Land Bank, yung 37.5 million.
We will check our records,
Yes,
sir.
ma'am. Thank you. Tapos, ma'am, number 2, itong kay Gina Acosta na 125 million, sabi nyo kanina sa Show Boulevard po to, pinahingkas. Pwede po, yung sino nag-receive nitong July 13, 2023, na pinahingkas po niya yung 125 million. At yung July 11, na pinahingkas naman ni Edward Parda under your branch. Para ipagsusog lang po natin yung dalawang cheque. Pwede ho ba?
We will check our records,
Thank you,
sir.
Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to ask the question to Ms. Catalan. Do you realize your accountability on this and consequence of what you did, Ms. Catalan?
Yes, Your Honor.
To ask once again, were you requested or were you pressured?
I was requested, sir.
You were requested. You were not pressured at all. Come on, tell us the truth here.
I was requested, sir, in a nice way.
Thing is this, you received an envelope 9 times, am I right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is that not a form of pressure?
Honestly, sir, the first time I met or I talked with...
Have you ever asked, why are you being given an envelope?
Yes, sir, I asked her. But
What was the answer?
it's just an allowance from the Vice President.
Was that?
It was just an allowance from the Vice President. Actually, I
Is
asked
that
allowance.
is that liquidated or is that recorded or is just given to you? Because it's a bit different when you say allowance and it's just an envelope given to you. Am I right?
Sir, the first time I received it, I honestly asked Shine, Ma'am, is it part of the confidential fund? Sabi niya, no. It was just an allowance from the Vice President. So, for me, honestly, I received it, knowing na it
Okay.
was not part of the
Who gave you
confidential
Who gave you the envelope?
ASEC, Sunshine Fajarda.
Who requested you to sign the accounting report?
It was also ASEC Shine Fajarda.
Therefore, if it was ASEC Fajarda who requested you, as you said, to sign, and she is also the one that gave you the envelopes, would you not think that it's a form of pressure on your part? Come on, but please tell us the truth here. Because look, I think you know what I mean, isn't it? I do not think that you are going to receive envelopes from the same person that requested you without you realizing the pressure of signing it. Ms. Catalan.
Your Honor, at the first giving of the envelope, I honestly asked ASEC Shine if it is part of the confidential fund. Sabi niya, hindi, this is just an allowance from the secretary. So I trusted her word for that, and without any thinking na it was really part of the confidential fund, honestly on my part. So I received it honestly on my part without any, it was part of the confidential fund.
I am saying this to you because alam mo, talagang my heart goes out to you, Miss Catalan. You know, I think it would be best that, you know, in your own heart, you have been pressured because you received the envelopes. They're not only being requested, you have been pressured because you received envelopes thinking that they are just allowances, but you know it is never recorded. It is not part of the budget that was given to the OVP or the Secretary of Education. It's not part. Did you sign a voucher for it?
No, Your Honor.
See? I mean, so what I'm saying is this. Those 9 envelopes you received is a form of pressure on your part or on the part of the same person that asked you to sign. Miss Catalan. Am I right? Yes or no? No. Yes or no?
Maybe, Your Honor.
No, it's not maybe. It's yes, isn't it? Am I right?
Maybe, Your Honor.
Am I pressuring you now? Am I pressuring you now?
I'm so nervous right now, Your Honor.
Mr. Chair.
The chair would like
Mr.
to
Chairman.
recognize the presence of the Honorable Jude Asidre, the Deputy Majority Leader from Tingog Party List.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes,
this
Congressman
will be my
Paduano.
last manifestation, Mr. Chairman. Just I want to put in the record that in today's hearing, Ms. Catalan, the head accountant, chief accountant of DepEd, admitted that indeed he was, as the term being used by her is being requested to sign, but of course, tumanggap din po ng extra si Ms. Catalan. Now, but in the previous hearing, Mr. Chairman, I just want to put in record that it is not only Catalan na tumanggap ng ang sobre. Attorney Ocias also admitted. Now, even Attorney Michael Wesley Poa, nandito ngayon, admitted also, but that was December, only December. But he still admitted that he received some amount from the Vice President. And of course, Miss Gloria Jumamil also, Mercado. Si ma'am, bit-bit niya pa yung mga sobre, no? Yung original na mga sobre. At nandito ngayon, no? In possession natin. And of course, lahat na to is galing from Miss Sunshine Farda na heya ni BP at the same time asawa nung SDO ng Office of the Vice President in relation to confidential fund. So as of now, apat na po ng mga officials ng Vice President na umamin na tumatanggap po ng sobre galing sa Vice President. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. That's all.
Mr. Chair?
Congressman Sia Alonso.
I yield to the senior.
Yes,
I just have a few
with the
questions, but I yield
indulgence
to.
of, Congressman
But I yield
Sia,
to Chairman.
The chair would like to recognize Congressman Akop.
Thank you. Madam Catalan, dadagdagan ko yung pagka-nervyos mo. Nag-iisip lang ako dun sa sinabi mo na noong binigyan ka ng unang sobre, sinabi mo kagad, ang tanong mo kagad galing ba ito sa confidential fund? Tama po ba yung pagkarinig ko?
Yes, Your Honor.
Bakit ganun ang tanong mo?
Because honestly, I'm wondering ba't ako bibigyan? And during...
Ngayon,
It was after
honestly,
the-
nagtanong ka kung bakit ka binibigyan. Ano ang sagot doon sa tanong mo na yun?
But I was made to understand by ASEC China, it is an allowance from the secretary,
Kayo po ay accountant, di po ba?
Yes,
Matanong
sure.
ko po kayo, saan po nanggaling na pondo, ang source of fund, nung allowance na binigay sa inyo?
Well, I didn't have the courage to ask for that anymore.
Uy, tinanong mo, you had the courage to ask, galing ba ito sa confidential fund? Tapos you did not have the courage to ask, saan galing yan kung hindi galing sa confidential fund? Di po ba?
Sure, Honor.
Di ba may lakas kang loob na tanungin, galing ba ito sa confidential fund? Pero hindi mo tinanong nung sinabi niya, hindi galing sa confidential fund yan. Saan galing? Di ba dapat yun ang sunod na tanong? Following your line of questioning. Kasi, madam, it is irrelevant whether you're aware of what you have signed or not. Kasi under the circular, you can be also liable. You cannot escape that. Kasi sa dami na inimbestigahan ko, basta nakikita yung signature na nandun yung signature, papailan ka ng kaso ng investigador. Di ba? Kaya nagkukuhan ako dun sa kwan You were brave enough to ask kung galing sa confidential fund. Kasi nasa isip mo na dun sa pinirmahan mo, dun manggagaling yung pondo na binibigay sa iyo as an allowance. Di ba? Yun na napasok sa isip mo na binigyan ka ng allowance sa pagpirma mo dahil sa confidential fund, sa pag-clear o liquidate ng confidential fund. Di ba, Iha?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes. And you didn't know that because of your signature, pwede kang lumubog. Tama? Iha?
Yes, Your Honor.
Sige. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank
Mr.
you.
Chair, with the indulgence of Congressman Adjong, in
Congressman
relation to
Abante,
what
you are recognized.
Congressman Akop said, I remember some years ago, Mr. Chair, that when the Vice President was still in the DepEd, that there is a rule that she made, no gift policy. Am I right, Attorney Poa?
Yes, Your Honor. That is correct, Your Honor.
That's the rule. No gift policy. Do you remember that, Ms. Catalan?
Yes, Your Honor.
So why is she giving envelopes? If the rule in her office is no gift policy. Therefore, even the Vice President would think that whenever a gift is given, that's bribery. That is subtle bribery. Ms. Catalan.
Maybe.
Not maybe. Sabi mo sa akin, no gift policy. So therefore, if the Vice President said that there is no gift policy, therefore she is trying to avoid any kind of a bribery or a corruption in his part. Attorney, can you please, do you believe that?
Well, yes, I do believe that, Your Honor, because even us OSEC, when I was in OSEC, no gift talaga kami from anyone. No gifts. No gift policy was in place.
So, nakita niyo yung answer ng dating spokesperson ni Vice President, am I right? That's the reason why I'm asking you if you are pressured. Siguro kinakailangan, sabihin mo na rito sa amin, you were pressured because of the allowances given to you. Oo. Hindi nyo na kinakailangan pagtakpan pa yung nagbigay sa iyo eh. Ikaw, Miss Catalan, ikaw po ang accountable dito. Ikaw ang kawawa dito. You do not even need to protect those that gave to you the envelopes. Because the fact is this, when the rule in the Vice President's office is no gift policy, she would think that to be corruption. Oh, therefore, yung pagbigay ng allowance sa iyo is actually subtle bribery. Hindi po ba?
But according kasi kay Attorney Shine during that time, it came from the secretary and who was really just maybe, he was just grateful dun sa performance namin. So I considered it not really a form of bribery. Or I was not pressured to sign the liquidation voucher, but I was requested to sign it, sir.
I'm not going to, in any way try to convince you otherwise, Ms. Catalan. What I'm just trying to say is, when the rule of the Vice President is no gift policy. In fact, hindi nga siya tumatanggap ng gift sa amin eh, kahit nabigyan namin siya eh. Hindi siya tumatanggap eh. Ngayon, kung siya mismo hindi tumatanggap, ba siya nagbibigay sa inyo? As a form of gratitude. That's your duty, Ms. Catalan. Whether there is no envelope given as a form of gratitude, it's your duty to do your job. Am I right?
Yes, Your Honor.
That's what I'm saying. Mr.
Congressman Sia, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just like to do some follow-ups on the questions of the Chairman. Ms. Catalan, I'd like to know, I think this has already been asked of you, pero I'd like to know, how long have you been working in DepEd?
I'd been with the department for almost 36 years, sir.
36 years. As a accountant, no, familiar naman po kayo sa trabaho ninyo for the past 3 decades. Alam niyo po yung differences between incentives, bonuses, allowances, hindi ho ba?
Yes, Your Honor.
And when you say bonuses and all of these categories, merong pinagkukunan po ng pondo dyan, di ba? Nakalaan naman po yan, no?
Yes, Your Honor.
Can you enlighten me po, because according to your responses, you treat this regular, I don't know how to label it, but as a gift, no? Just for the lack of a better term, kasi hindi mo po ma-pinpoint kung saan talaga galing yon. Pwede niyo po sabihin, clarify sa amin kung based on your experience, kasi alam naman po natin may mga bonuses yan, eh, di ba? Sa mga sa mga regular employees. In fact, before the end of this year, mayroon talagang bonus packages siya binibigay. And mayroon namang incentives, no? Can you at least distinguish based on your work job description on how you appreciate the differences of this? Pag sinabi mo pong allowance, saan regular na kinukuha na pondo yan?
Normally, sir, pag regular po siya at saka yung normal siya sa appropriation or standards appropriation sa personal services ng agency.
Okay, sa personal services. Pag sinabi niyo pong mga incentives dun sa mga empleyado, because I believe there are also some employees who have, gone beyond what is expected of them, exemplary yung kanilang mga tinatrabaho, kaya nabibigyan sila ng incentives noon. Meron din ho kayong ganyan at saan po nakukuha din ho yan na category?
Sa DepEd, there was no line
Wala
item
po.
for incentives.
Walang incentives. So what about bonuses po?
Bonuses meron po, sir, sa personal services po
Sa
siya.
personal services, okay. So these allowances and these bonuses are regular funding.
Yes.
Tama po
Yes,
ba?
sir.
O, kasi
Yes, Your
alam niyo po
Honor.
pinagkukunan. So would you say po itong experience niyo for the past 36 years, has there any instance where a former or previous secretary have also done similar gifts or allowances, as you may call it, prior to the one that is now, but prior to the incumbency of then Secretary Duterte?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. So, would it be safe to assume, Mr. Chair, that this is something irregular? Kasi ang sabi niyo po, the allowances and as well as yung mga bonuses are regular fundings. There are line items under your budget kasi accountant kayo at doon nakukuha. So it's a regular funding, no? According to you, there has never been for the past 3 decades of your work, your stay in DepEd, there has never been any instance where there's an administrative policy of your department that says pwede kayong magbigay regularly ng mga sobre sa mga empleyado. So that's sometimes something irregular, hindi ho ba?
Sir, I was made to understand that the allowance came from
But
the
you have
secretary
you have
personally.
already described to us that the appreciation of allowances is actually based on irregular funding that is allotted to. So what else can you describe that kind of pabuya, halimbawa, o pagbibigay sa inyo? Since according to you, hindi naman siya nagpo-fall as an allowance.
I was made to understand that it came from her personally.
Yeah.
Personal money niya. I was made to understand that it came from the personal money of the secretary.
Okay, so what do you, was there any instance, for example, na sabi nga ni Manong Romy kanina, what made you first ask si attorney na ito ba'y galing sa confidential funds, hindi ho ba? That's your initial Ibig sabihin, you already had a prejudgment that this may come from the confidential funds. And then later on, you were made to believe, according to you, that it's come from the budget of the OVP. Personal budget of the OVP. Sa inyo po bang palagay? I'm just asking you now, not as a consultant, but as a regular, average-minded person. Sa panyo palagay, kaya ho ba yun ng isang tao nang magbigay ng ganong regularly ng amount based ho doon sa sitwasyon nung nagbibigay? In this case, Secretary, just your
Sa akin, sir, kasi kaya naman niya kasi malaki naman sweldo ng secretary.
Okay, so ang palagay niyo doon doon sa inyo napupunta yung kanyang, sa palagay niyo yun?
Yun, sir, honestly. Yun ang palagay ko. Kaya I was made to understand that it came from the personal money of the secretary.
Okay, so gusto ko lang pong malaman na Ms. Catalan, how often did you receive these funds? I mean, this
Monthly.
monthly, so ilang months po kayo nag-receive ng ano?
February to
So when did it start, when did it start? Kasi sinabi nyo confidential fund. When did it start? When the confidential fund was requested? When was the confidential fund requested again?
The first issuance of the confidential fund was around February,
So when did you receive the allowance?
after the release of the cash. Of the
Okay, so
check.
that made you think
Yes,
that it's a confidential.
yes.
But prior to the confidential fund, you were never received any.
No, Your Honor.
Okay, so hindi mo masasabi na galing personal money niya yun.
Again, I trusted.
Yeah, but you said, Ms. Catalan, that you made to understand that it was malaki naman ng sweldo niya. So bakit nung umupo siya, hindi na siya nag-start magbigay? Bakit nag-start siya magbigay nung first na na-release na rin yung confidential funds? I think that's what made you think that it's part of the confidential funds. Again, Mr. Chair, just a manifestation na sabi nga, it's something irregular. It does not happen, no? In the previous, it did not happen prior to the release or request of the confidential funds. That would be all, Mr. Chair.